Turtleneck and hoops are not ideal for foundation application. Alright, so today it's Foundation Friday. This is where I try out a new foundation every single Friday on my channel. What are my hands doing right now? I feel like I'm like holding ski poles, ready to go on some moguls. Playlist is linked down below in the description box. If you're new here, you can go back and watch other foundation videos. This is the brand new Huda Beauty Faux Filter foundation. They've been teasing this for a while. Like, this has been a long time coming, but this foundation retails for $40. You get 1.18 fluid ounces of product, which is a little bit more than the standard 1 fluid ounce. The thing that is amazeballs about this foundation is the shade range. This comes in 30 shades. I do want to give major props to Huda Beauty. I tweeted this the other day, but check out this picture of their shade range. Can we get a hell yeah for this photo? Even though I absolutely despise the Fenty Beauty foundation, between that launch and this, it has been freaking refreshing that there are a couple brands that have come out in the last few months with bomb shade ranges. So even though there's still a long way to go and other brands definitely need to still step it up in the shade range game, things are changing for the better. If you have very deep skin or very fair skin, at least there are some options now. So I picked up 2 shades on Sephora, which I'll talk more about that process in a minute, but I picked up Vanilla 120B and Shortbread 200B. I had absolutely no idea what shade I was going to be. Typically, I am the lightest or second to lightest shade of foundation, but under the fair category for this foundation, there were 6 shades, which is amazing. That never happens. Now I know how all the medium toned people feel when you have like 10 shades every time to choose from. Listen, folks, that is a good problem to have. But then I came across this chart, which was on the Huda Beauty website. And based on this comparison, the second to lightest shade is the L41 in Kat Von D, which L42 is way too light for me. It looks like ghostly on my skin. I ordered this online because they didn't have this foundation in store by me, but I really wanted to get 100B just to swatch for you guys, because from what I've seen from swatches and everything, it looks very, very fair, which is amazing. But I ended up picking up the shades Vanilla and Shortbread because I felt like Vanilla might be too light, Shortbread might be too dark, so maybe I could mix them or one of them might work, who knows. As far as the packaging, it feels a little bit cheap. It's definitely plastic. You don't get a glass bottle. I definitely think for $40 they could have invested a little bit more in the packaging. So let's read some of the claims on this foundation. I'm on Huda Beauty's website. It says it's a, by the way, can you say Huda Beauty slow? Because I feel like you just have to like roll your tongue when you say it. The full coverage velvety foundation, available in 30 shades. It's supposed to hide blemishes, conceal imperfections, camouflage dark circles, has ultra fine blah blah blah. Dries to a radiant matte powder finish that looks luminous, not dry or cakey. So those are some words that you don't usually see in the same sentence. Radiant matte powder that looks luminous. I will say this is heavily scented. I'm talking heavily scented, almost more than like Dior foundations. So if you're sensitive to scents or you don't want to be putting fragrance on your skin, which isn't the best for it, I think this is the most perfumed foundation I've ever smelled. Doesn't smell necessarily bad, it just smells like a friggin' candle. So I'm gonna insert swatches right here of these 2 shades compared to some of the other foundations I own. I'm gonna include a few from her comparison chart just so you guys can see how these shades compare with those. Alright, so swatch time. Right here is the Huda Beauty foundation in 120 Vanilla. Next over is the Huda Beauty in 200 Shortbread, Estee Lauder Double Wear in 1C1, Marc Jacobs Remarkable in the shade 10, and Remarkable in 12, NARS Sheer Glow in Siberia, Kat Von D Tattoo Foundation in L42, Dermacol 208, which is like my perfect shade match, and then Fenty Beauty Foundation in 100. Alright, so I think that's everything. If you're excited for this video and you enjoy Foundation Friday, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can join the Beyrito family and subscribe. I upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Let's get into it. If you want to see what I think of the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation, how it applies and wears throughout the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. Alright, what's up? Good morning, good evening, I guess, when you guys are watching this. I am so excited to try this one. So I've already washed, moisturized, and primed half my face using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I primed this side. I'm actually on day 11 of Accutane right now when I'm filming this. I'm gonna try and get this one up in the same week that I'm filming this, so this isn't like months pre-recorded like the other ones. Why did I just get like so much spit in my mouth? I couldn't talk. Anyways, this video I'm gonna try and get up in the same week, so it's Wednesday. October 25th right now when I'm filming this. And I'm gonna try and get this one up this Friday since this is a foundation that you guys have been asking about. My point being, this has hyaluronic acid in it, which is really good for moisture. So I haven't swatched these yet, haven't taken them out of the box. I really hope I picked a shade. I was so overwhelmed. There were so many options on there. I'm gonna totally destroy this box. This box is freaking like glued together. I'm just ripping it. So here's Vanilla 120B. Oh, that looks promising. Shortbread 200B. Why was that one way easier? That one I think might be too dark, yeah. I'm gonna first try Vanilla right here. There's actually no comparison for Vanilla 120B on her chart. I don't know how accurate this chart is because this is saying that 200B is similar to Marc Jacobs Remarkable in 10. You guys will have already seen the swatches, but I can tell just from looking in this is way darker than Marc 10. I think I would actually be like a mix of these two shades almost. I don't know which one to use. I think 200B might be too dark, but I like the undertone of that better. Okay, let's just first try Vanilla and see how that goes on. Exciting news, have a new foundation palette. Candle lid. So like usual, I'm going to do half my face with a brush. This is a Sigma F80 flat top kabuki and the other with a sponge. Let's go in with Vanilla. I think I'm going to try the other one. That one looks a bit yellow. Just re-priming that spot. So while that side of my face dries and everything, let's go in with Shortbread. So I'm going to use a sponge to start out. Whoa, it smells very heavily perfumed. Ooh. Getting bomb coverage. This smells like a hair product. Like it smells like straight up hairspray, which isn't the best if you have sensitive skin like I do. Even with the sponge, that just covered everything. It's looking very smooth, really nice on the skin. I'm gonna go back in with the brush and get right around my nose ring. Even covered my acne on my neck really well. Ooh, okay. I have hair root spray on right now and sometimes it like transfers onto my forehead. So if you're new here, I have combination skin. My problem areas are usually the center of my forehead, around my nose area. I have a lot of texture on my face, so sometimes foundations emphasize it right there. And this one is looking really nice and smooth everywhere. It does seem to be mattifying. Yeah, it's definitely getting less dewy. Let's see how this does with the brush on the other side. If I got this much coverage with a sponge, I am really curious to see how this looks. Here's before and after. I did use a decent... Why does this look like a different color? Oh, was there still some on the brush? Shitsies. Oh my god. Wiping this off again. There was definitely still some of the other shade on that brush, so I'm gonna get a new brush. We're starting over. Third time's the charm. I switched brushes. This is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. Why do I feel like it's still totally looking lighter? Did this just already darken a little bit? I'm using 200, yeah. Whoa. Okay, so I feel like this is a bit more difficult to blend out with a brush and it's drying really quickly, which I didn't notice with the sponge. 100% prefer how it looks with the sponge and I feel like I'm getting the same coverage. It's looking a bit heavier on this side. I'm gonna switch back to the sponge and just kind of smooth that out. It's drying really quickly. Yeah, I would say sponge is the way to go on this one, especially if you have texture. Turtleneck and hoops are not ideal for foundation application. So if this shade does not oxidize, I think this is going to be the perfect shade. I really like the kind of beige undertone to it. It might be a tiny bit dark. I could probably mix in a dab of that other shade, but I don't really like the yellow in the other shade. It looks a tiny bit heavy. I feel like this one would look really nice with the Smashbox primer water underneath, because if I have a foundation that's looking like this usually helps to just make it look a little bit more radiant and skin-like and everything. I like using this under the Marc Jacobs Remarkable. But it doesn't look overly heavy right now. There's just certain areas where I feel like it looks a tiny bit heavy when you're really up close, but from far away it looks bomb. It covered all of my acne. This is definitely full coverage. I could blend powder products on top, so I'm not going to set my face with this one. Also because I do think this is one that would just get way too heavy if I set my face. Just knowing my skin, I have a feeling this would kind of cake up more. But so far, I'm feeling this one. This looks really nice. I love that I only had to do one layer to get complete coverage. I also feel like I almost don't really need under eye concealer. I mean, it covered my under eyes pretty well. But right now it's 10:48. We're gonna call the check-in time 10:45. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. All right, so right now it's 11:26. I gotta film this fast because I have a call at 12. So the rest of my makeup is on. I feel like when I was reading the description of this foundation as I was like eating breakfast this morning before filming this, the radiant matte, there's like 4 contradicting words in there, finish that they were talking about was kind of confusing. I wasn't quite understanding how that was possible. Now that it's on my face, I get it. It really is somehow like a radiant matte, kind of like just a comfortable matte. It doesn't look too matte. It's not accentuating any of my texture or anything, but it still is matte, and I still have a tiny bit of glow, like especially on my forehead, which I personally like. I like a little bit more dewy. How long did that take me? That took me hell long to do like nothing. I do definitely think this shade is not my shade. I walked out in the natural lighting and it looks like it's my shade when it's just on like this, probably because I'm wearing a turtleneck, but compared to my chest and then also just my arm and everything, it's not quite my shade. I think what I'm gonna do is return both these shades actually and try and find a shade that's closer to me, because I don't think I'm quite either of these, and there are a few shades in between those. I might actually try vanilla. I think I'm gonna wear this tomorrow, Thursday, and I'll update you guys in the description box how the shade vanilla went. This one I think is wearable, but since there are so many options, I might as well try and find one that works better. So far so good. On the rest of my face, I used IT Cosmetics My Sculpted Face palette. Went in with this shade to contour, and then all of my eyeshadows are also this palette. I just went in with like a mix of all of these. Blush is the BH Cosmetics Floral Blush in the shade Fiji Fun. It's like this purpley mauve one. Lips, MAC Burnt Spice liquid lipstick. Lashes are Eylure Accents 005. I like these. They're just like the half lashes you can pop on the outside. And my highlight is Burberry Fresh Glow 03. So pretty. I love this highlight. That's it, I think, right? Yep. So check-in time is 10:45. I'll see you guys in a few hours in natural lighting. Okay, so it's just like 2 minutes after I just stopped filming, but I came out here and I was doing some snaps and stuff, and I just want to show you guys what it looks like. Is this eyelash on? Sure. What it looks like in natural lighting right now, because it looks pretty damn good. I feel like it looks better in natural lighting than it does under the studio lights right now. Here's zoomed in. Like, I love the way my forehead looks right now. I hope I don't get super oily. The rest of my face is looking really nice. I like it even better now that I've seen it under this light. Okay, so right now it's 4:37, so it's been on for almost 6 hours. Shout out to Costco, because this is my new favorite sweatshirt of life, and it was like 15 bucks. This thing is like living in a blanket. I've been sleeping in it. It looks good. I'm getting a tiny bit of creasing on my upper lip, and it's separating a little bit on my forehead. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Also, corner lashes don't seem to irritate my eyes quite as much. Like, I still have them on 6 hours later. Get real up close. So I think you guys can see a tiny bit of separating right there, and then a little bit of creasing. Not bad for me. I mean, this is pretty normal. I feel like it looks pretty similar on both sides, maybe a tiny bit worse on this side, but overall I think it looks pretty good right now. I do feel like it's one of those foundations that is oxidizing in weird spots, like on my chin, which happens very rarely with certain foundations, but does happen, and it has oxidized a little bit. I think I would say about half a shade. I don't know, I feel like my upper lip and chin area look a little bit orangey or something. Overall, still really liking it. I think it looks really nice and smooth. I like the kind of dewiness coming through. Also, as I was just working, I realized my first video to ever hit 1 million views just happened, which is very exciting. 6 years on YouTube, just hit 1 million views. And it actually wasn't the how to paint furniture without sanding video. That was my most popular video for years, literally. But Dermacologist won. Gonna keep working. I'll check back in with you guys at the end of the night. Okay, so it's now 9:15 p.m. So it's been on, oh, my alarm is gonna go off. 10 hours. I have a constant debate in my head about whether this lighting during last check-in looks better or the bathroom. Neither one is ideal. So let's just go with this one for now. So I'm gonna zoom in. I can't put my camera there or else there'll be a shadow. As you can see, oh man, I am hella oily. Whoa. Keep in mind, lights do always bounce it back, so it's not quite this oily, but I can tell you, I was looking out in the living room and it was pretty damn close. Hold on. I think we're gonna go back out here because I feel like you can never see the shade right. I hope you guys can tell, but I feel like it has continued to oxidize throughout the day. Like, now it definitely looks about 3 shades too dark, and it's looking more orange in real life. It looks more like beige brown on camera, but in real life it looks pretty orange. I feel like this one in the last couple hours, like on hour 8 and 9, is when it really started deepening. But color aside, I'm clearly quite oily right now. I still have that separation happening right here and also over there now. It seemed to kind of rub off down here. I've got my chin right there. And then also over here, I wasn't leaning my hand or anything. So I definitely think I'm gonna try the shade Vanilla. If it does oxidize this much, I think that one could work throughout the day. But foundations like this, where it's not super long lasting on my oily skin, but I love the finish of it on its own, and I feel like if I did add a powder, it would get too heavy cakey because it had that kind of look and feel to it. This is one that I would mix in with a foundation that was longer lasting, so maybe something like the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream that lasts amazing on my skin, controls oil really well, so I would mix the lighter shade with that one, and I think a combo like that could work because I do really love how this looked on my skin for the first pretty much like 7-8 hours. I think really at the 8-9 hour point is when it started not looking so great. Overall, I really like how it looked. I think this is a foundation that a lot of people will love. I say try it out, get a sample at Sephora if you can. So I think that is that. I did edit the video tonight, this video that you guys are watching right now, everything except this end clip right here. So this will be going up this week, which is cool because I rarely upload like the same week. So I feel like I'm kind of talking to you guys in live time. So what's up? Hope you guys are having a good week. Happy Friday. So tomorrow I'm going to try the lighter shade. I won't be able to add in a clip of it because I need to edit this video tonight and wrap it up. But I will do any updates in the description box, and I'll also pin a comment. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. I'm schwitzing in this jacket right now. Holy crap. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.